Welcome back. Now, joining us this morning is Wildlife Images Rehabilitation and Education Center Executive Director Dave Siddon, and as you guys can see, he's brought along a friend with him. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Now, what can you tell us about your friend?
Well, my friend here is a peregrine falcon, and her name is Velocity, or its name's Velocity. We don't know if it's a male or a female for sure. And they're the fastest animals on Earth. You know, everybody's taught that the cheetah is the fastest animal, but these guys, we did a film for Disney many years ago and actually flew the birds trying to figure out how fast they go. And we got them up to 242 miles an hour in a dive.
Wow.
So by far the fastest animal on Earth.
Wow, well, Velocity is such a beautiful creature. Thank you so much for bringing her
or
him on our show.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, in December, Wildlife Images kind of ramped up its safety protocols to protect its friends against avian influenza.
Right.
What can you tell us about some of the adjustments you guys have made and just how the last couple of months have gone for you?
Well, we took extra precautions because our bird collection is extremely valuable. I mean, they're not replaceable. We have birds like wedge-tailed eagle from Australia. There's only 3 in this country. We have a Cenarius vulture. We have Velocity. These birds are extremely valuable to us, so we had to ramp up our protocol to make sure that the birds are protected. So we have to disinfect our feet before we go into an area. We have to put on little booties. We have to do a lot of scrubbing and washing and disinfecting things, all the crates. Everything that touches the bird has to be disinfected. So we want to take those extra measures because the avian influenza can be fatal. Most birds or wild animals don't show signs of weakness because then a predator would pick them off. So the first sign of the influenza sometimes is death. So we have to be very, very cautious with our birds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those safety protocols are so important. Now, here at NBC5, we're big fans of Gilbert.
I don't blame you.
If you know, you know. But for those that aren't familiar with Gilbert, can you tell us a little bit about him and how he's doing right now?
Gilbert's our baby grizzly bear. And I should probably use the term loosely about baby. We picked him up at 70 pounds. He was orphaned in Montana. A shed hunter was out looking for antlers. Female grizzly bear came out of the brush, startled him. He shot her, and the youngster was left as an orphan. So he was taken in by Montana Wild, a facility there where he could be housed. But they can only house him for a certain time. And so anyway, we were, it was desperate to find him a home. So we said we'll take him and take the little guy on as an educational ambassador. So he came to us at 70 pounds. We weighed him last week. He was 208 pounds. So you can pretty much sit there and watch him grow. He just grows at a horrendous rate. We're building him a brand new facility that's going to be gorgeous. A running stream and a little waterfall and a big pool. And it's going to have an amazing place. So we're working on that right now. The weather's not been cooperating, so it's been a slow process. But he'll make his public debut within probably another month or so.
Wow, how exciting. Yeah, he's just a big baby.
He really is. He's a gorgeous little bear.
And you guys just made a pretty fun announcement as well. Your annual Saving Wildlife Gala and auction is coming up the first weekend of May. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that's our big fundraiser for the year. Hopefully we'll have a wonderful dinner, a great auction. We have trips like to Africa and Italy and Bali and things like that people could bid on, plus other auction items as well. And it's a wonderful night with music and the whole shebang. So we encourage people to be on May 3rd, and it's going to be our biggest fundraiser. And we, of course, need all the funding because we absorb all the cost of all the rehabilitation work we do. So the vet care and all that stuff that goes into these hundreds of animals that we rescue every year. Mm-hmm.
A lot to look forward to, it seems like. Well, is there anything else before Velocity tries to fly away here? Anything else that you'd like to mention this morning?
If people see a group of dead birds or whatever out in the wild that may be affected by avian influenza, don't go start picking them up. Use gloves, plastic bags, whatever it is, to isolate the birds. And then there's a phone number you can call for Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and they can process and test these birds to find out if the avian influenza. It's important to have this data so that we know how it's moving through the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dave, Velocity, thank you so much for making our morning.
Glad to be here.
Of course. Now, Wildlife Images Rehabilitation and Education Center is open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Lower River Road in Grants Pass. If you'd like to help build Gilbert's Forever Home, you can find information about the GoFundMe on the Wildlife Images Facebook page or our website, And mark your calendars for Saturday, May 3rd. That's the date of the Saving Wildlife Gala and Auction, a fundraiser that will benefit the dozens of animal ambassadors that live at Wildlife Images, plus the hundreds of sick or injured animals that get treated there each year. If you encounter a sick, injured, or dead wild bird, as Dave mentioned, Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says not to touch it, but instead to call their hotline at the number there on your screen. For more information and tickets, visit wildlifeimages.org. Once again, Dave, Velocity, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back.